I generally maintain an attitude of scientific skepticism with regard to stories of the paranormal. And this includes stories of the supposed supernormal powers of yogis. But one thing I'm not skeptical about is the yogis' powers of visualization. I suspect that our ancestors were particularly good at this before the written word became so prevalent. Memory and visualization were very important. Some individuals seem to be blessed with quite highly developed natural powers of visualization, but certainly within the Hindu and Buddhist traditions there are certain meditation practices which develop the visualization faculty. It's part of their meditation practice. And right now we're right in the middle of Vasishtha's meditation, his self-inquiry. And we're at the point now where Vasishtha is no different from Brahman. He's realized his identity with Brahman. This happened after the cosmic dissolution, which is something that happened in Vasishtha's mind. He withdrew from all notions of an external universe, and he came back to his essential nature as pure consciousness. And now the cycle's continuing into creation once again, and he's been contemplating the earth, or the earth element. Vasishtha continued, while I remained in the earth consciousness, I experienced the experiences of the earth with all its rivers, etc. Here I experienced the weeping and wailing of those who had lost their dear and near ones. Here I experienced the joy of dancing girls. There were the cries of the hungry, the joy of the affluent, drought and earthquake, war and destruction, beautiful birds and lakes, suffering worms, flourishing forests, meditating sages. O Ram, in this earth body of mine, all these took place. This is life, this is consciousness. And Vasishtha is realizing the identity of consciousness with all of life. Ram asked, when you were thus engaged in the contemplation of the earth, this is called the Parthiva-dharana, was that earth real or only mental? And this is the question which we would ask, isn't it? Is all this real or imaginary? Are we getting from Vasishtha's mouth the teachings of reality, or just his imagination? This is a distinction we like to make, isn't it? If it's real, if it's physical, if it's really what happened, then that's the truth. But if it's just something in Vasishtha's mind, his imagination, is it so important? This is a prejudice, and this prejudice needs to be examined. This is part of how we split things up, how we filter things. That's real, that's imaginary, that's not important, that's important. We can forget that and concentrate on that. This is what we have to do from a practical point of view, but not from a spiritual point of view. Vasishtha replied, truly this was mental, and I had myself become the earth. Equally truly, this was not mental, nor did I actually become the earth. So what are the choices here? Either it was mental and it was true, or it wasn't mental and nothing happened. And both cases are valid ways of looking at it. Apart from the mind, there is no earth. The earth only arises in consciousness. If it didn't arise in consciousness, we couldn't talk about it. We couldn't even hypothesize about it. Whether you consider something as real or as unreal, it is but mental action. This is your ideas going on again. It's your ideas which come up with the notion of reality. It isn't that something is real, it's just that you've got the notion that it's real. There isn't some absolute distinction between what is real and what is not real. We come to an agreement about what is real and what is not real, and we give what is real a more important status, don't we? But this is just notions at work. All of it is mental, including your decision to split things into what is real and what is not real. So whether you consider something as real or as unreal, it is but mental action. I am but the pure infinite consciousness. That notion which arises in it is known as sankalpa, or thought, or imagination. That notion is the mind. It is the earth. It is the world. It is the creator. This world appears in space on account of that notion, just as a fancy city exists in the sky. So spiritually, it's quite important to stop this filtering into what is real and unreal, and accept everything as it is, which is as a manifestation of consciousness, including that cognitive process whereby we make a differentiation between what is real and what is unreal. What I experienced as the earth was but a simple notion, and therefore mental. It is pervaded by the mind. On account of the persistent contemplation, dharana, it remains as if it is the earth. This word dharana, contemplation or concentration, well, it usually refers to yogic concentration, but here it can also mean that repeated assertion or focus on what is real and unreal. And because we do this all the time, that's what becomes true. That's what becomes true for us when you repeat a certain affirmation that this is real, that is not real. That becomes the case. So in a way, we're all practicing this dharana all the time, this contemplation of what is real and what is unreal. And because we assume that the earth is real, we wake up to it each day. It's there, here's the earth. We say, this is what is real. We keep coming back to it. Each time we wake up, we come back to it, don't we? So we say, that's what's real.